And we're live. And we have a guest. That's not really a guest. She's the Basic and Boujie fam at this point. But me and Joss have to reintroduce ourselves. Hi, my name's Melanie.
I'm
also known as Boujie. Nice to meet
Basic.
you.
Nice
to meet you. It's been so long.
We should do a podcast.
We should. Here we are. So we are here with our good friend, Miss Kelly Meerbott.
Wait.
We have an applause.
Okay.
So season 1.
Yeah, man. Cheers to Basic and Boujie on your 4th season. That is amazing.
Thank you.
No, pick it up. You can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. What was I thinking? My last week ended so great, and I don't want to pee in the face of love. I'm not drinking.
Good. So tell the people a little bit about yourself. Just a smidge.
Okay. So, fun fact. I don't talk about it a lot. It is on my website, though. The first 4.5 years of my life were spent traveling on the PGA Tour with my dad from tour stop to tour stop. And if you watch the PGA Tour the way it is now, it's definitely not like that. I was the only kid there. Mm-hmm. So what was really cool, and I feel like that's kind of where the seeds of coaching started, was if anybody knows about golf, you're not supposed to talk, right? Mm-hmm. And so I would listen to titans of industry and great coaches and great golfers. And, I listened to a lot, and I think it just really sunk in, and studying people's behavior and just listening to what they're saying.
That's cool. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah,
that's cool. I love that.
Bringing it back.
But I'm that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, all great athletes, right, have coaches. Regardless of what you think of him, and I don't think much of him, but Tom Brady, nutrition coach, strength coach, throwing coach, Bill Belichick, and then all the coaches on the Patriots staff to help them be the best they can be. So that's really what I do is, I look at people and I learn what the best version of themselves are in their own minds. And then I go, all right, here's the goal. How do we get there? And just walk alongside them as they walk that journey. And I share information. I don't give advice, because people know about their lives better than I ever could. Mm-hmm. And who the hell am I to be like, Mel, this is what you should do.
Right.
No, it'll sound like when I was in this situation or another client was in this situation, this is what we did. If it resonates with you, great. Mm-hmm. If not, that's okay.
We'll find another way. We'll find another avenue, another resource, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And you're also an author.
Yes.
She's an author.
So much.
I do too.
But
I really do.
People who got the book and didn't crack it open, me and Mel cracked it open. It is colored.
It's well
there
loved.
Are notes. Mm-hmm. There are answers to the prompts.
Well loved.
We did what we need to do.
Thank you.
Because you did what you needed to do.
Yes, exactly.
So it was I was like, this is the book that I didn't know I needed.
It wasn't this
easy.
I guess I have to read this because it was okay, here we go, hold on, all right. And then I'm all right, I'm gonna color you next, but I need to get on to the next one. And
I bought special color pencils with erasers for them so that I don't mess up my coloring pages. This is serious business. It's I have
not a children's coloring
absolutely
book.
Not these color pencils that I purchased. I put them with the book, and it's they are for nothing else.
Yeah.
Now when your second volume comes out, I'll share them with that book.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I do not use these color pencils.
So let me ask your opinion, because both of you have read the book, and I've had some people who are like, Kelly, I just don't write in books. It's just a thing. I don't do that. Mm-hmm. So what I was thinking is separating the questions and the coloring pages into a workbook companion, or do you prefer having it all in one?
So I typically don't write in books. This might be the first book that I ever wrote in, and I just felt like I had to.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is meaningful. Yeah. And I actually like it all in one. And I'm not a person, I don't bend a page. I'm very, my books are pristine. Yeah. But I like it all in one. I got over it.
I'm a write in the books. I am a highlighter. I am a note taker. So it didn't feel and from your other book, the journal.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an easy thing to do because, if I'm just attaching Kelly to writing in books, then first book, second book.
Yeah.
But I've always been like,
you know what you're gonna get. You know that the next book you're gonna be able to write inside of it.
So
for those people that don't know, Meerbott's Fables, if that's where you want me to go. Came out of it literally took 10 years because the book started differently. So it started as one long fable, and the idea was so it started off with this manager who was on a loading dock of a manufacturing plant. He had just been put on notice by the board, right? Now this is a fable, I made this up, it's not true. Pouring down rain, and all of a sudden out of nowhere this dog, golden retriever, came limping in, right? And I named it Love in Arabic because the idea was called The Economy of Love, and it was, how do dogs look at the world? Because they look in black and white, they live in present, they don't see gender, they don't see race, they don't see religion, they just see the person. And I got about 5,000 words in, and I was like, and it was like, what's next? You know what I mean? And I got stuck for about 6 years, and then I met the Deluxe Book Club team, which was like Alex and Lindsay and the whole team, and they were like, what if you were to do short fables? And I was like, and literally as soon as they said that and we started kind of brainstorming animals, it was
just poured out.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and number 2's already written and done.
Excited.
Yeah,
you
it's
shared
really cool.
some notes from that with us already.
With the
with the second one.
Oh, with the second one?
The second one,
Okay.
you shared a couple that were very exciting.
I did. So I'll share one because my husband, Brian Meerbott, I was driving here, I'm like, why do I always say his full name? Like Brian Meerbott. I don't know.
What's your husband? You're proud of your husband.
Yeah, he's my
Nothing wrong
bestie. I love him.
Brian's great.
Yeah, and my voice is the way it is because I was screaming at karaoke with him last night. But so he said, can you do one about meerkats? And I was like, yeah. So the process is like this. I go on to Nat Geo Kids and I look up meerkats, or I'll Google fun little known facts about meerkats. So the fun little known fact about meerkats are these. One, they're called gangs or mobs. I was like, perfect, right?
Perfect,
right? And then they're one of the few animals that actually teach their young, right? So, and they're immune to certain venoms, including scorpions. So Brian's a Scorpio.
Interesting.
And so I have these warring gangs of meerkats that are red and blue, and you can, Bloods or Crips or whatever other warring factions that represent those colors, and they fight against each other, and then they hear about this army of scorpions that is coming to kill them, and they throw venom at them in the form of insults, right?
Okay.
And part of what they teach their young is to hold down a scorpion and pull out its stinger and then eat its meat. That's like one of the things they do. So these two warring gangs of meerkats have to come together to fight something that is bigger than them, right? Because a house divided will not stand, right? And that's really kind of where these came out of, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm just tired of people yelling at each other.
Listen,
we're not listening.
It's an angry place.
It's a
Everybody's very angry
place. And this book has done some really amazing things that I was praying for, but didn't. When it comes into fruition in real life and is so much better than you have in your mind, you're like,
it's happening.
Says, can somebody put a GoPro on me so you can see this too? Because I won't believe it later.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I always love when you come back and you tell me oh, I read here and this was the feedback, and then we wait, the kids need to read this book.
I know that's that
you just opened up a whole new world,
right? That is a population I did not expect. But so Brian is teaching at, oh God, I'm going to get it wrong, A.B. Anderson Elementary in West Philly. And he's teaching 7th and 8th grade science and math. And I have to tell you, just knowing you the way I know you and having a deeper respect and admiration that I had before for nurses. I have that same thing for teachers, especially Philadelphia teachers. My hat is off to you.
Absolutely.
So they had me come in and read the unicorn fable. And just what was really cool was this last Thursday, I said, all right, why don't we read it out loud? I'll start. You take a paragraph, you take a paragraph. And one young man raised his hand and he's like, I don't read out loud. And I looked at the teacher because, you know, I'm like, please moderate.
Yeah,
I don't know
what's okay, what's not okay.
So he looked at me and goes, yeah, some kids. And I said, you know what? That was my fault. Because normally I ask the group who's an introvert, who doesn't like to be called out, who doesn't rate, because I'm not going to embarrass her. So we start reading. And all of a sudden, the one that said he didn't like to read out loud jumped in and read his sentence.
Oh,
and it's
I know. Excited.
I know.
Oh, stop! I love. Yes. I'm like, I love when you come back and tell me these things.
And he was just. It was really, 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 really sweet. It was just. And my message to them was, please don't listen to the world. Please don't listen to the naysayers. Just listen to that sweet, small voice that whispers inside you and listen to that.
Yes, yes.
Because there's too much noise in the world.
There's too much.
Yeah.
So much shit.
Yes. Yeah, way too much shit.
I know. To circle back into your executive coaching and even how you paused on the book until you had a team that said something and then the book poured out of you. Like, I feel like that's part of having a team or a tribe or a coach or a mentor, whatever it is that people call it, because there's different names for them. But we've talked about this before. What is the importance of having a mentor or an executive coach, whether you're an entrepreneur and you're just getting started, or you're a small business owner, or you've been in business for 5 or 10 years and you've never had someone? Where do you see it? What's the need?
So it's not a need.
Okay.
It's a want, right? Because everybody needs it as far as I'm concerned, but there are people that don't want it. And if they don't want it, it's more effective to set your check on fire because you pay me, right? But I always say to my clients, you're not paying me. It's an opportunity to invest in yourself, right? But I'll push that question back to you two because coaching is really experiential. So how did, if you can speak to that, how has it impacted you both?
I think for me in different ways. So of course, because we have so many things. So we have the podcast, and I feel like we figured out the podcast. Right. I'm sure we'll get to a point where we're going to be like, yeah, we do need a person to let us get to the next level. But right now, we're still having fun with it, and our lives are crazy. So the episodes are all over, but we still love what we do. We still love coming here and doing this. With my shop, with my craft business, a lot of that I was self-taught. I taught myself on YouTube, but then I found myself probably a year or two in joining groups of people that were doing things that I was doing, that were further along, doing the things that I want to do. So I'm like, I need to find people that are doing what I'm doing, because I can talk to Roy about it, but he's like, I don't know, it's cute. Like, he's not thinking later on, like, how are you going to scale this business? What does that look like? That's not his world. And then in nursing and aesthetics, again, like, self-taught to a certain point, and I'm like, oh, I need a mentor. Like, I think I just realized that in myself, like, okay, I'm at the line where I need help. And I'm okay to say, like, hey, I need a little bit of help. And I think that's where the disconnect is for people, is they either don't know what they don't know, or they don't know where to go for help.
And then just, in terms of experiencing my work with you, because it's a co-creative process, what would you say the impact was? And then I have an idea of what to say after that.
So what I've always appreciated is the conversation and the safe space that we've created when we meet, when we talk, to be able to say how I'm feeling, how things are going, and not make it seem like, a highlight reel. Like, there are struggles, there are ups and there are downs to I'll just talk about owning a business. And like, specifically like a brick and mortar type of business where it's not,
that's a different world.
It's a totally whole different world. And just having friends that are professionals in their own right, entrepreneurs, business owners, but also looking, like Mel says, for a community that is doing the same thing you're doing. And you have to humble yourself enough to know I don't know everything, and I need to find the people that do that so that I can learn from them, not take from them, but like learn from them and their experience, because it's going to help me some way, even if I don't know what that is right now.
So here's what I want you to think about. So there's a major distinction between a coach and a mentor, right? And people conflate them a lot. So a mentor, if you want to think back into the olden days, is sort of like if you wanted to be a blacksmith, you apprenticed under a blacksmith, right? To learn. That's what a mentor is. A mentor is somebody specifically like Lauren, right? Okay. She's a mentor in aesthetics, and Lauren's amazing. And Lauren Iyer, right?
Yes.
Okay. She's been in the business forever. She can tell you like different things. Like when you use this laser, sometimes it runs too hot, and things like that. Okay. So a coach, if you think about a coach, right? A consultant answers your questions. A coach questions your answers.
Oh, I like that.
You see what I mean? Okay. And the thing that I try to do is create a psychologically safe enough space where you understand you're going to be seen, heard, and appreciated just the way you manifest, right? Because I'm not here to judge you, tell you what to do, or yell at you. Like, I'm not that kind of coach. I'm there to look at you as an individual and go, all right, what are your strengths? How can we amplify those? What are your underdeveloped strengths that we need to maybe get some knowledge in there in the form of talk to Lauren, right? Like I work alongside a lot of mentors, but my knowledge is a lot broader, and I'm there to turn up the volume on what's magnificent about you, and then look at the down times as where's the learning in this? Okay, how did we handle that? How do we adjust our behavior so that we get the results we want next time? Right? Does that?
No, that makes sense. I feel like I feel like that's our conversations, and I am fortunate enough to be your friend and get free coaching.
Yes.
Without knowing that I've been getting free coaching for the last couple years. But our conversations are always like, all right, this is my issue.
Right.
And then we talk about it.
Right.
And then we come up with a solution. Or like, well, what's the next step?
Yeah.
I don't ever remember a time where I'm like, Kelly, this is what's going on. And it's like, okay, girl, all right, I'm going to circle back. No, like by the end of that call or that Marco Polo or whatever, it's like, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Like, it's not I'm dumping on you, you're dumping on me. Or like, let's figure out how we're gonna make this work, and we do.
Yeah, and I mean, part of what I believe as a coach is I need to lay my life bare and show you what I've gone through in order to either shortcut the suffering. I mean, I'm not really there to take away the suffering because there's value in that, but if I can say, listen, this is what I did and I got on the other side, I know if I can do it, you can do it, and I'm not gonna let you do it by yourself. Like, I'll say, yo Mel, yo Joss, grab my arms, we're gonna walk through that fire together, and I'm gonna show you how you're fireproof.
No, and that's all facts. Like you have absolutely shown up to be. You've been that person in my life. You've shown up.
You're gonna make me cry.
No, because you're gonna make me cry. But you've shown up in beautiful ways for me.
Well, I love you, and that's it. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I really, really, really want the people in my life, whoever encounters me, to just knock it out of the park, to just kill it, to hit the next level, like to vibrate on a new level. Like, I want them to succeed. I mean, the best thing I get is when people are like, 2 years later, this happened, and I think of our time together and all of that. That is
it's like those full circle moments. Like, you hear people say those things all the time, but like Kelly is that. Like, she is that. Like, genuinely,
refreshing,
she is that person.
Like, genuinely, like supportive of you.
Without ever being like, she's there because I put her in that situation or because I made those connections. Like, you just do it, and then you let it go, So it's like, if you ever needed somebody to be like, you're that bitch, Kelly is that person. It's like, do you know what the fuck you are? Yeah. You're that bitch. Like,
I'm going to remind you every time I see you, every time I talk to you.
Every single time.
She talks you up. Like, you know those memes or reels that you hear that you'll see, and people like, the person that's protecting your name when you're not in the room.
That is Kelly.
100%.
That is Kelly, absolutely.
Yeah.
For your birthday party, like, I was just, every person that I met and we just had a talk, everybody said the same thing, like, oh my gosh, she's incredible. Isn't she amazing?
Stop.
Isn't she amazing? Like, it was just like, I don't know how your ears weren't bleeding from all the love. Like, we were just like, no, she's like rare. Like, they don't make people like that anymore that care, that really care and don't, and are not waiting for you to be like, oh, okay, and get something else from you in the end. It's like, whether I ever come back and say anything or not, you did it genuinely from your heart. And anytime I've ever gone through anything, especially within this year, you have shown up for me.
I mean, when I tell you I love you,
I know,
and I just want people to win, whatever that looks like in their minds, right? I'm not there to be like, Mel, you need to stop wearing this wig and dress it. Fuck off with that noise. Do you know what I mean? It's, who are you at your core? What do you stand for, right? What are you tolerating? What are your non-negotiables? Let's figure out how we can literally amplify that, because that's the energy this world needs. The world is on fire right now.
It really is.
And listen, as a true fire sign in Aries, I'm like, burn that fucker down. Burn down. Right?
Because we need a reset.
We do.
We need something. There has to be change somewhere, and
we need old white men to all die. Sorry.
Not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, I mean, and you just gravitate to people that literally amplify your vibration. And I don't know about you all, but like, I am literally cutting off access to myself because I cannot have people. Let me use this analogy. You've seen the Green Mile, right? So my sister equated me one time to John Coffey, where I like suck this shit out and like blow, you know, like, but I had people who were like, and then I would leave like this shell of myself, and I was like, including family members.
Oh, absolutely.
Where I was just
they'd be at the top of the list.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I will cut a bitch off so fast.
Man, Kelly, talk.
I'm like, and Mel and I have some similar problematic family members. I'll be like, can you believe that this person did this? Like, that's not normal,
bitch,
right?
Get ready for the update.
And we've compared things because we have this person that is, their personalities are very similar. And I'm like, did that happen? Yup. That's a thing? Whoa. Okay.
It's
all
like,
right, cool.
It's not us. We're not crazy. We're not alone.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, because none of us have been gaslit in our lives at all. Ever. That's a major trigger for me. Is that does that trigger you guys too? Gaslighting?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And it could be from the person that I know the least, and I can see it, like, you're fucking gaslighting. This is something work related, and you are gaslighting me. Like, are you? I don't give a shit about this, but you're not gonna come off like what you're saying is correct. Absolutely not.
Well, I recently heard. Do you know where the term gaslighting came from?
I don't think so.
There's a movie back, like an older movie, black and white, right? When our grandmothers were alive, called Gaslight.
He was purposely making her crazy, right?
Yep. And he was turning on gas. He was turning on gas to make her go crazy. And I'll tell you, like, that is a really hard thing for me because you know, I have so much in my brain that I often like kick stuff out to make space for things I'm just like kind of
all our tabs are open all the time.
Yeah. So somebody will say, oh, I never said that, and I'm like, yeah, you did. And then I go, oh my god, maybe they're right, maybe I didn't hear them, maybe I wasn't paying attention, maybe and I'm like, stop it. Stop.
we're quick to check to see if we fucked up,
right?
And, which is a good thing to be like, let me make sure it wasn't me.
Where's my hand?
But then there's other people that it's like, it can't be me.
Yeah.
So if you're maybe it's me person, and you're coming up against the person that it can't be, now you really feel like it's you, because they're never going to admit that they did anything wrong.
Oh yeah. And my whole coaching practice is all about accountability, right? And like I've talked to you too about this, Abraham Maslow's locus of control theory, right? Where it's we can only control what we think, feel, say, and do. So the first time a situation happens, I'll go, all right, what part of this do I need to own? Like, where is my part? And sometimes there is no part in there from you. It just, that person's a psycho or an asshole, and goodbye. You know,
that's just what it is.
Yeah.
It wasn't your fault that time.
Yeah, but it's but the fact that we even have to sit there and question it, like,
right, like you have to dissect it, like, okay, did I have I perceived it differently than whatever? Like, we drive ourselves crazy.
Meanwhile, that other person is not thinking that
at
whatsoever.
all. Right.
Whatsoever.
No. So, if I were to ask you what your favorite fables are in that book, what would it be?
Wait, let me skim. Because I feel like it was one of the first ones, actually. Because I think I stopped every other sentence and was telling Roy, did you know? Because I was also learning about the animals.
Yes.
I was like, I didn't know.
I leave stuff in there too. Like, I try to get interesting stuff in there. Like, the whole cheetah fable, which is about a burnt out cheetah, came out of me researching cheetahs just randomly because I knew they ran fast, and I was like, something is there with burnout, right? And in the Nat Geo Kids website, I found out that cheetah, after they run to go hunting, they relax and breathe and catch their breath for 30 minutes. And I figured, okay, what if somehow that 30-minute rest got eliminated? What would happen? And then I imagined Conchita the cheetah.
Conchita.
I know. Don't ask me that.
No, I was literally like chuckling. Because I'm like, Kelly's fucking brave.
Yeah. And that was my favorite thing that you said to me. You're like, Mel said, I can imagine you at the keyboard going, and that's exactly what it was. But
was it the first one? I'm looking for the turtle in the light, and I'm like,
Marley.
And I think it's because that's the one that like resonated with me the most. Because I always feel like I don't want to do all these things by myself. And we've talked about this, where you're like, all right, just need to have your own business. And I'm like, but I don't want to be alone. And I'm always just like wanting to bring people with me. And have found myself in life in situations that I'm like, all right, fine, I'm going to let you take the lead. Even though I know in my heart and mind that we should be making this left, I'm going to take this right with you. And then it doesn't work out. And it's like, bitch, you knew that, but you followed instead of leading them the other way. And in that story, it's like, man, y'all go ahead and get run over or get killed by the flashes on the phone or whatever. I'm going to go this way.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
because we all have that ancient wisdom inside us, right? The problems come when we override it. So I'll give you an example. On my way here today, I wanted to bring
my mother's.
Hi, Mom.
I'm not picking up.
So I was on my way here, and my mom taught me never to come empty-handed. So I brought some seltzer. But the first liquor store I went to was
not in the best neighborhood.
And
I wouldn't get out there.
You wouldn't? Okay.
No. And I used to work down the street. Nope.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
Good. Because I started hearing, and I drive a Mercedes, so like literally I pull up and it's like,
whose car is this?
And I'm lady? Sitting there, and I sat there for a second, and there are these guys loading their car like behind me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna pretend like I stopped to put directions in my phone. Like,
get the fuck out of here.
And then I'm like, should I go in? And then I was like, all I could hear was, this is a neighborhood where you're gonna get robbed. This is and then I was like, get the hell out of here.
I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it felt like. I'm out of here.
Well, you know, and you asked me about coaching. That's like the essence of my coaching, where I'm asking you, okay, what we're trying to do is get away from the thinking mind, if that makes sense, right? And utilize the data our bodies, our energy, and our emotions are giving us, right? Because that's valuable data. But the problem is we'll go, Like, I was literally talking to myself in the car going, you can't live in fear. Just walk in like you own the place. And I was like, with a Telfar bag and a Mercedes. No. Goodbye. No.
Get out of here.
No, get the hell out.
This is Philly. Go somewhere else.
Yes, that's right. So I did find another place, which was, you know, the gentleman opened the doors, and it was still in the neighborhood, but not
more my speed.
Yes,
more my speed,
but not shuttered up and like, yeah.
Like, is it open? Is it not? Yeah, I'm just gonna go.
Well, and the other thing I was saying was like, you got pepper spray. You just keep your thumb on it. It's fine. And then I was like,
do you really? If you have to do all of that in order to get out of your car, then don't get out the car.
Right.
Well, and then of course my creepy little ego mind took it a step further because let's be real, I was a white girl in a black neighborhood, like you know what I mean. And I was like, great. Somebody sees me pepper spraying, and all of a sudden it's Karen pepper spray.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Karen goes
no,
down.
forget it. Which I'm definitely not a Karen
For this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's shit. I'll make you not Karen.
Not Karen. I would love that.
Girl, just
I would
to the
love
point,
that.
not Karen.
Do you, well, we recently had an experience.
We had a Karen experience not
Together?
too long ago. Oh,
Yes. So
it actually made my day. Like, I know she was on fire for the rest of the day, but I was giggling and just cackling for the rest of the day.
Please tell me.
okay.
Tell our audience.
Tell the audience. All right, this is for all the white women out there because y'all, come on, please, with the behavior. I cannot. So Mel, Elite Infusion IV, where Mel works with Siobhan, which is like one of my favorite businesses in Ardmore because it's woman owned and, you know, they're friends and I love that, right? So what is the street it's on?
That's Ardmore Avenue.
Okay, so it's on Ardmore Avenue, and when you go towards Lancaster, there's a baby right turning lane, right? There's a main lane where you can go straight, and then there's a left turning lane onto Lancaster, right? So I left my coffee mug, my favorite little coffee thing, at Elite Infusion IV, and I get a call from Mel going, hey, how far are you? Come back. And I'm like, okay, you know, will you be able to run it out for me? Because I've got a coaching session I got to get to. So I pull in front of Elite Infusion IV and I throw on my flashers. And this Karen, and
I'm right there because I'm waiting for her. I know her car. I'm waiting for her to come up. I have her cup ready to cross the street.
Right, and she was a little far down the road, so she could anticipate it, right? So she's in this blue BMW X5. Yeah, I'm calling your ass out. And I'm like, is that the Risa Tisa car? Honking. Yeah, I think it is. And let me just talk to you about Risa Tisa in a second. Okay. So I throw my flashers on, and she starts laying on her horn.
I mean,
and I'm like, oh, I feel bad. I'm blocking the light. Don't you know?
Was happening. No, the light was red. No cars were moving.
Don't you know this Karen wasn't trying to make the light that I was so... She was just mad that I was
mad.
So she whips a U-turn.
She did not.
So I run across the street to give her the drink, whatever, and I could see her. She's like bright red, huffing and puffing. I'm like, oh my God, are
going
you
like this? And I was like, you look apoplectic, and I'm worried about you. But instead, I got mad because she was being ridiculous. And she whips around, and I see her driver's side window down, and I go, okay, Karen, you in such a hurry? Right, because your time's more valuable than mine. She goes like this, and I was like, good, okay, Karen,
screaming out the window. I'm like, have the day you deserve. And she's making a U-turn and flooring it down Ardmore Avenue. I'm like, all you're gonna do is cause an accident because there's always traffic, people walking across the street. There's just no reason for it. But she was she was pissed. Yeah, she was pissed, and I'm like, and that's why I don't let people affect me in that way. Because now the rest of your day is fucking ruined.
Well,
and we're just like, because she was mad.
It wasn't, but I literally, it makes me so angry because there are so many amazing white women out there.
Absolutely.
And like, I want to snatch the other ones by the neck, including in November. Stop voting for idiots. And if you don't like the choices, too bad. pick one.
Pick one.
Right? But don't pick the wrong one, because, you know, I was trying to think of that poem, like, first they come for, then they come for, then they come for, right? And like the last one is then they're going to come for the women, they're going to come for you, and everybody's going to say, like, why not? Right? They're coming for all of us.
Yep.
All of us.
Yep.
Okay, so like,
It's a scary world.
this is, you know, it's not a joke. It's not time to lay back. But ladies, white ladies, if 10% of us vote the way you should, common sense, right, for the person who's not coming after us, then everything will be fine.
Like,
so, sorry.
It could all be so simple.
Yeah.
But
so Karen in the blue BMW, vote blue.
Have the day you deserve.
Have the day you deserve. So, but actually, I've started implementing a new approach to people who act like that, and it's actually been interesting. I like it. Okay, so okay.
I love transferring that kind of energy back to people.
So, you know, Karen's going like this, right? So if I was not pissed off because she was being an asshole, I would have said, "You okay? Who didn't hug you as a child?"
Because that
But you gotta say it
like almost like you care.
Right. Almost like
you care.
I actually do care. Do you need a cookie or a hug or a
Did you
juice
eat?
box?
Is your blood sugar low?
Right?
What's going on?
Do you need a nap? Do you want me to call you tomorrow? Because and what's happened is people are like,
oh yeah, they don't know what to do with that because they're used to fighting fire with fire.
Right.
So if you just, you all right?
Yeah.
See, when I do, I'm being a sarcastic bitch, but it still helps. It still helps bring somebody from 10 to maybe I should chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not yelling back at you, if my tone hasn't changed, and I'm not cursing.
Yeah.
Why are you all the way up here? We're talking.
Well, and plus, let's be real. Like, this world is scary.
It is.
And
People are crazy.
well, yeah. And I've had two situations in the last year where there were veterans, and I'll be real transparent. My husband's a 20-year veteran in the Navy, and like one of my biggest clients was the United States military, and I know the problems with our veterans, especially mental health. Like, so there were two situations where there would have been violence incurred, and there was one guy at the bar where my husband works that sucker punched this old guy.
Jesus.
And they threw him out. They threw the guy out who was a veteran. And I'm standing there at the door, and I see the veteran like storm off and then turn around and come back. And I was like, no.
This isn't good. Yeah.
So I was like, yo, what are you doing? You're a veteran, right? And he goes, yup. He goes, I'm just going back in there. I was like, wouldn't you rather stand here and talk to a pretty girl? Like
de-escalate. Good job.
And then I was like, there's somebody in there that looks like me. Why are you going in there? Right? And he was like, my husband, like, clearly when I'm doing these techniques, it doesn't mean I'm cheating on my husband.
He understands.
It's just,
like,
right.
She's just doing her thing.
Well, you got to just use what you've got in those situations. And I said, listen, it's been a rough night for all of you. Why don't you go in and sleep it off, you know, and then you can be welcome again at this bar. Right now, if you go in there, you're going to be taken away with cuffs. You don't want that.
Nobody wants all of that.
Nobody wants that. Come on, man. And he just kind of breathed and like turned around and went the other way, which was great. But you know, it's scary. You can't. You just can't.
Because if you couldn't talk him down, he would have just like pushed you aside and be like, "Shut up, woman," and done his thing or whatever.
Something
like,
would have happened. Yeah. And just to have the right mind to see that, recognize it, and de-escalate it.
Yeah, well, and my husband is so great at de-escalation. He's really, really good at it. But yeah, I mean, like, the thing I think about is he could have gone back to his house, and a lot of veterans have firearms, which is your right, and I don't believe anybody should be, you know, have their guns taken away. Although I do believe that no automatic weapons need to be on the streets unless you are, or bump stocks, unless you are accompanying the military to Afghanistan.
Because what do you need it for? Where are you going?
Why? To shoot Bambi? Why?
You don't need that.
No. No, you have the right to bear arms, not automatic weapons, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with
so
that.
now that I've done two things I shouldn't, which is talk about gun control and politics.
The beauty of having your own podcast is we can talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Should we talk about the cults that are?
Oh, God.
Holy cow, man.
First of all, I have a recommendation. Have you guys watched Dancing with the
Yes,
Devil?
I just finished yesterday. 23 years that woman was in. My heart broke for her.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to talk about this off air because we had 39 minutes. But y'all need to watch that. You need to purchase this book.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the link down. You need to purchase a copy for yourself, for your child, for your little brother, your little sister, your little cousin, everybody. Because everybody
If
needs
there's
this
a
book.
teacher you know.
Right, I'm getting one for Layla because I talked to her about it. She was like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like, she likes to read. I'm like, then you got to find the population of children that actually like to read and don't want an Audible book.
Yeah.
So
They're starting that.
They're starting already. Yep. I felt like an Audible, but it was nice to be just like sitting quiet and just
There's
read
something about
this
opening up and hearing that like initial crack.
I know, and the smell of a book. Like, I do that too.
nostalgic.
So, I know we're at like 40 minutes. So, are we, what?
Yeah, we're just wrapping up because we've been doing like 30-minute episodes on this.
Cool. So,
All right, so
how should we, do you have a final burning question that I can answer?
I don't think I do.
You, Jess?
I don't think I do. I feel like you answered my questions.
I mean, I don't know if we can answer this, but where are we on the second book?
It's done. So I had this idea to drop a book every year on my birthday, which is April 2nd. So it's done. It's just not laid out. So all the content's done. I just got it out of my brain onto the page, and then I'll probably go back and edit it. But yeah, I mean, I think I wrote it in like 2 days.
Nice.
Yeah, and Brian was like, you got to slow down and let this breathe. And I said, let me tell you something. I heard Neil Young interviewed one time by Howard Stern. Regardless of what you think of these two, this is the story. So he said, if you're at a dinner party and the muse comes, what do you do? And Neil Young said, I excuse myself from the table, I go to the bathroom and write it down right away. And so when the idea of the warring meerkats came, I was like, crap again.
Yep.
So that's what happened.
No, that's a real thing. When
Yeah.
when that like creative process starts and you're in a flow, you just gotta keep going.
You gotta ride that
until
wave,
you either
baby.
get it out or you exhaust yourself. But if you stop, like, because you want to be on this, and I've learned this the hard way, I want to be on this like controlled schedule.
Right.
My creative process is not on a controlled
Yeah.
schedule. So today it might be word vomit of all the things that I want to do, and tomorrow I might be completely depleted and just need to go through my task list. But when I'm on that wave, I let my brain do whatever it needs to do. I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, we're
whatever
excited
works for you.
for the second book.
Yeah,
And then we
exciting.
can talk about our favorite fables from that book when you come back.
Absolutely. I love coming here. This is such a great podcast, and
Thank you.
you
We love
two
you.
are you're just amazing humans, and it's been a joy and an honor to be front row to your journeys.
Thank you, because you were definitely on season 1.
Yeah. I know. Which one did we skip?
Now I have to investigate.
I think 3.
3.
It might be 3 because 3 was a struggle.
Like 4 episodes last year.
Gotcha. Okay.
We were so
Welcome to entrepreneurship.
burnt out.
We were just like,
Yeah.
Joss texted me the other day. She goes, so we got this podcast thing that we do. We used to do on Sunday.
Should we keep it going?
Yeah.
Because we usually take a break in the summer. Yeah, at least like year 2, year 3, we took a break in the summer.
Like, we'll record wherever we can, and then we'll batch the episodes.
Yeah. Well, listen, my podcast, I think it took like 18 months off because I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't.
Yeah, because like you don't want to quit. You just need a little break. Like I never feel like I want to quit because I know there's gonna be something that happens that we're gonna be like, oh my god, we got to talk about this on the podcast, and I don't want it to not be here. But it's just be like, I just need a break. Or I would love to do this, but I have 100 other fucking things going on, so we can't sit here for 2 hours and do it. But
So,
thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
of course, always. I love you guys.
Thank you. And that is a wrap on this episode. Bye.